Hey guys, I'm sorry that the light changed. It's night already. These videos give me some issues to upload to YouTube because they're so long. So it takes me day and night to do them, and continuous falling off the phone and mistakes and stuff. But here we are. Okay, my God, my forehead is so shiny. Okay, so we were doing before this one desert biome and grasslands, and I gave you a couple questions. Remember to write them in your notebook with a pen in cursive and with a pencil and print, and you are gonna send them when I ask you to send them. Don't post anything yet. You continue posting stuff in the platform when I haven't asked you, and that causes so hot, and that causes me issues because I cannot review or check your homeworks in the order that you have sent them if you don't send them complete. So if you send them incomplete, I won't be able to check them. Okay, so let's start working with page 82, forest biome. Let's start. Forests are the largest and most diverse ecological systems. About 1/3 of Earth's land surface is forest, is the green part of the planet. Trees fill the forests. The trees are important because they take in carbon dioxide to use in photosynthesis and give off oxygen for humans and animals to breathe. So thanks to the plants, we can breathe successfully because they take the carbon dioxide in the air and they transform it into oxygen for us. So try to imagine no trees and then we only have carbon dioxide, which is a poison if we inhale it, and we would die. Remember that later. The taiga biome is the largest single biome on Earth. Taigas, which are found just south of the tundra, have long cold winters and short humid summers. Can you imagine? Long cold winter and short humid summers. Annual precipitations is about 12 to 33 inches. Wow, that's a lot of rain. Taigas are found in Russia and northern Canada. Not close to us. The trees in the taiga are conifers, now something that we have in common with Canada, also called evergreens. They have thin, waxy needles for leaves. The waxy coating protects the needles from the cold. So, the national official tree for the country is the pine tree. It's the green, kind of like triangular tree shape. That's our official tree. And that it's a conifer tree or an evergreen because they have waxy leaves and they are spiky like needles. If you've seen a needle, a leaf is kind of like this, but in the case of the evergreens or conifers, they have needles like little points. And if you touch them when they're green, they're kind of sticky because they're waxy. That wax protects them from the snow in the case of Canada. But in the case of Honduras, they live in there because the weather in places like Ojona, higher Valle de Ángeles, San Juancito, and places with a lot of pine trees, it's because the weather in there is colder, and also the wax helps them to preserve the humidity that is absorbed through the roots. So something that we share in common with the taiga is the system of evergreens or conifer trees. Conifers do not lose their needles on the fall. Therefore, conifers do not need to grow new leaves. And as you can see, they don't turn orange. Pine trees are either green or brown, and they turn green when the tree keeps falling and they get a little dry. They eventually fall. But unlike other trees that their leaves turn into red or yellow or orangey colors, they're only green or brown because of the evergreen skill that they have to absorb the moisture of the roots and keep it longer in there with the waxy needles. Therefore, conifers do not need to grow new leaves. This helps conifers in the spring. They can begin the photosynthetic process right away. Animals of the taiga either migrate or hibernate during the cold winter months, just like the grasslands. Either they move where they can find a weather that is nicer for them, or they hibernate with their bellies full of food and sleep. Some grow thicker coats. As again, we said that the fur is thicker, they have more hair in the winter, and in the summer they lose some of it. They shed away their hair so they can be fresher. The taiga is home of many insects. Insect-eating birds migrate back to the taiga each summer to feed on the insects. And as you can see in the picture, we see an owl, a fox, and I guess that's a jaguar. That's not a panther. I would say jaguar. I don't know. Okay. Deciduous forests are in temperate regions and have 4 distinct seasons. We don't have deciduous forests. The summers are warm and humid, and the winters are cold. We have cold winters, but not as cold as Canada. The average precipitation is 30 to 60 inches per year. Deciduous trees have broad leaves that capture plenty of sunlight. So, 2 different kind of trees and 2 different kind of forests. We have that the taiga has conifer trees that are needle-leaf with waxy leaves. And deciduous has deciduous trees that have broad leaves that can capture the sunlight. And then it produces a lot of fruits. Now, these kind of trees help the animals to eat, to obtain food before the migration, and to eat through the whole year. This allows the tree to produce a lot of food. The leaves fall from the trees in the autumn, but not before changing to vivid colors of yellow, orange, and red. I just said that. The trees enter a dormant period until spring when they grow new leaves. Some animals in deciduous forests have adapted their environment through migration and hibernation. Other animals are able to find food all year long because they eat fruits and plants as well as insects or small animals. Still other animals such as squirrels collect and store food for the winter months. Squirrel. So as you can see there, the trees grow, these kind of trees, the deciduous trees, grow different kind of leaves than the taiga does because they need to feed the animals. They need to help them to prepare for the changes of the season. So the question for this forest biome will be, ready? In your notebook. Describe the forest biome. Good. And then describe the taiga biome. Good. Including its symbolic tree or including its famous tree, if you don't want to use the word symbolic. So describe the forest biome, describe the taiga biome, and in this one, including the famous tree, which for the taiga would be the conifer or evergreen. And the last, describe the deciduous forest and its famous trees. Okay? If you have doubts, scroll back. Page 84. Tropical rainforests are located near the equator and are warm and humid. Equator is fun. There's a lot of things that happen around it because it's in the center of the earth. We're actually in the equator area. Honduras is located in the equator area, and that's why we are a country that is tropical. We're a tropical weather country because we are in the belly button of the planet, and we get a bigger exposure of the sun. The equator are warm and humid year-round. Rainfall averages 50 to 260 inches per year. Tropical rainforests are very important to humans. The trees there produce 40% of the Earth's oxygen. Wow. Many medicines come from the plants that grow in the rainforest. Tropical rainforests are found in South America, Central Africa, and Southeast Asia. Because tropical rainforests have very thick vegetation, plants have to fight for sunlight. The thick vegetation forms a canopy blocking sunlight and keeping the ground dark. Few plants are found close to the ground. The many species of animals in tropical rainforests have developed adaptation to living without much sunlight. Some animals have developed large eyes so they can see in the eyes. So again, adaptation, how important is this? Is going to be the question that I'm going to expect your whole knowledge to be invested in. Tropical rainforests have so many trees and so many plants that you can verily, let's say that this is the ground, okay, and these are all the trees, and this is the green part, the leaf of the trees. So the sun cannot penetrate the area of the ground because it's blocked by all the leaf. So all this area is humid. It's muddy. Think of the jungle. Think of somewhere where there's a lot of mosquitoes and a lot of frogs and it's humid and there's a lot of slithery animals that go around. Think of this as an area that because it doesn't get a lot of sun, it's going to be always humid, so there's going to be a lot of insects and animals that like places that are humid. These areas get so few light that the animals have adapted their eyes to be able to see in darker areas because there's not a lot of light, and also because of the abundance of trees, a lot of birds live in there because the top of the trees is so thick that animals can make their houses in there without worrying. So it's a beautiful place, but it has a lot of disadvantages for the animals that would try to live in there. For an example, no grass in here, because grass would need some sun to grow, but there's a lot of other algae and a lot of other plants that require funguses, fungi, lichen, I don't know, plants that usually when you touch them they're wet or they smell strong because of the humidity. Okay, so you have to write for the next one, describe the tropical rainforest and their lack of sun. Okay, that's the next one. Describe the tropical rainforest and the lack of sun because they don't get a lot of sun because of the abundance of trees. Remember, this is an explanation that I gave. It's not specifically written in here. This is something that I got from understanding. So I don't want to see anything written specifically copied from here or Googled. If it's Googled or if it's copied word by word from the book, you're not going to get all the points that you're supposed to. Reading is about understanding. Make an effort. Okay, and then we have the last word, the last page, page 85. Effects of people on biomes. Biomes represent a very complex and delicate balance of climate, geography, plants, and animals. Disruption of any of these elements can cause damage to the entire biome, as people continue to build homes and communities in new areas. Something like that happens. I don't know if you heard, there's a scandal because some politician people, they're trying to build a residential area in La Tigra, in areas close to El Chimbo. And if I'm wrong, because you live close to the area, you can correct me and tell me what's the name of the area. So far that I know, behind my house, they were putting tractors and stuff. And in front of Cerro de Plata, there was an entrance for the new residential. They're supposed to start in La Tigra. That's a whole mountain that they're cutting off. So people is trying to say, oh, it's a new luxurious place. Only people, the quality, the VIP, the president, and all of that are going to live in there. But they're destroying their biomes that are in there. La Tigra has a lot of different species that are going to lose their house if they build the residential area over there. The ecological balance is often disrupted, air and water may become polluted, and plants and animals may die. Entire species may become endangered. When one species is endangered, the complex food web is threatened, and many other species may also be endangered. So if you destroy the whole area of La Tigra that has, for an example, frogs and I don't know, different kinds of spiders or insects, and they lose their houses and they move, the animals that eat those species are gonna not have food, so they're gonna have to move away too. And let's say, for an example, that I don't know the name of the animal that eats the ants. In reality, I have no idea. But let's say that there's a specific animal, Pumbaa from the Lion King, that he loves eating insects. And he lives in La Tigra, and then people destroys La Tigra, so there's no more insects. So you're not losing only one species. You're losing the insects and Pumbaa. And because Pumbaa is moving away, let's say that in La Tigra, we have a lot of pumas. Then because Pumbaa is gone, a pig is gone, a hog, then the puma that doesn't have the pig to eat, it's gonna have to move. So by destroying the ecosystem for one species, the whole chain is being destroyed, and all of the species gonna have to move somewhere else. And maybe it's an area that they didn't know, so they're gonna be hunted by someone and killed. Humans are a key element in the ecosystem balance. People must learn to respect and protect the environment. Everyone must remember that human behavior affects Earth's biomes and ecosystems. So, for the last part of your story, we are going to write a small summary based on the new residential that they're making in La Tigra that I was talking about. You can read in the internet about it. You can ask your parents. I know that there's a lot of people that have written in Facebook how disgusted they are because of this new residential. But I want you to investigate and to write at least 1.5 pages. 1 page and then another half of the page. Please don't ask me how much, because I'm telling you right now, 1.5 pages. 1 page and a half. 1 page and then the half of another page. Yes, you can write more. I know that some of you will. I need you to write how the residential that they're making in La Tigra is affecting the environment and how this is going to affect you at the end. Because remember, it's not only that. Because something that you could find, and maybe I will post a picture of it so you can see it, is that they cut all the trees. It used to be green. Now there's a brown area, because there's no trees anymore. And remember, we get the oxygen from the leaves of the trees because they turn the carbon dioxide into oxygen. So if there's no trees, we don't have oxygen. And also the trees help the water to be retained in the roots, so the land can be humid, and also it gives a space to the rivers to be developed. So we're losing water, we're losing the species that are a treasure for our country, and we're losing the oxygen. So you're going to have to talk to me a little about what the residential is, where it's located. I'm telling you the details already. So please don't ask me what am I supposed to write, because I'm telling you already. I need you to write what the residential area is about. The residential area is called Juanito de Tal, and it's located in kilometro something, and it's also surrounding, it has 5,000, I don't know how many kilometers, and they even said that they wanted to build a mall in the mountain, a mall. And then you have to tell me how does affect you. And then you tell me it's destroying all of these species and all of these lands, and it's destroying the areas and the trees, and because the trees produce all of this and this and this and this, at the end we're not going to have air, and this is how it affects me. And remember, when rich people build their places, their residentials and all that, they don't stop at one. They won't stop at one. If they make that one, and they're going to make it, they're going to make another one. So we eventually will lose our heritage on nature. So I hope that it's very clear. I'm going to write this last one as a description in this video when I post it in the platform, so you can have it clear. Can you read it, please? Can you read the instructions? Because I write the instructions so you don't ask me privately. I write them because this is a class. Then in a normal situation, I wouldn't be available for you to ask. You have to read the instructions, because remember, that's the biggest mistake you made in the test. You didn't read the instructions. So read the instructions that I'm going to write when I post this video in the platform. They're below or above. If you see and it's only a little, there's a blue letter that says more. You click on it and all the description appears. So you can read what is the last question that you're going to develop. All of this, you know, with a pen in cursive the question, and with a pencil and print the answer. So make your best effort, because this is your cumulative, and I hope that I can see you soon. See you guys.